Coming up on today's show.
And so I said to my daughter, how about we pull this up and we put it in your room and that can be your home office.
What are some of the other office essentials that people should have just to kind of set up that workstation that they need?
Little by little, right? You make these little changes and you're going to make your home office right now and in the future attractive. It doesn't have to be all at once. It doesn't have to be all Pinteresty. It doesn't have to be expensive.
The Upbeat Organized Home Office, today on Keeping You Organized. Hello, welcome to Keeping You Organized. These are new times here and a lot of people are working from home. All of a sudden, just kind of thrown into it. And it's something here from our point of view. We want to help you get organized when you work at home because it's hard enough to do your job and to run your home. But if you're not organized, it's crazy. So we're going to bring on our favorite home organizing expert, Darla DeMora, heartworkorg.com. See, I can say it, can't I?
Yes, you can. You got it, John. Thanks.
All right. Well, Darla, welcome back. I gotta promote your book because you brought it here, sent it to me, a copy of it. I love it. It's, boy, what timing was that? This just came out a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden now there's a whole new bunch of people working at home.
Right. Yes. I mean, you and I have worked, or you've been able to work from home. I've worked from home for, 20 years, more than that, actually. And it's great to have a home office, but guess what? Only 42% of the American professional population worked at home some or all of the time in 2018, which means about 60% of us are just figuring it out.
Right. Okay. Well, we're trying to, retool some of our podcasts and our content to really focus on this because this is where there's a lot of people like you and some of the other professional organizers who've been doing this for a while. I've in the past job had worked at home. I'm kind of comfortable doing. I mean, I had to set this studio up in my house. We don't have our fancy studio like we normally do, but we're all adapting here. So for the first timer or the person who got told, all right, grab your stuff and go, what are some of the first things they need to think about when they're ready to set up?
Yeah, well, and a lot of people are doing that, right? Whether you are setting up at home for your home office, or you and I were just talking about actually our kids are, kind of setting up a mini home office. As well. In fact, my 14-year-old, I realized she didn't have a 13-year-old actually. She doesn't have a desk in her room. So we did what a lot of people are going to do for their home office right now. I kind of took inventory and I thought, you know what? I totally forgot about this desk that I have in the basement, and I've been using it as a workbench for the last 15 years. I completely forgot that this was the desk that I used to work on back in my very first home office, to be honest. And so I said to my daughter, how about we pull this up and we put it in your room and that can be your home office. And she's still working on the computer in the family room, but she needs a place to sit and think and work on some writing like a lot of us are going to need to do. And so that's the first thing, is find a spot, even if you're not sitting there all day long. It's not like you're destined to sit there and do your work all day long, but you got to find kind of a home base. Even if, it's a small house, you can find a corner. Maybe it's a corner under a sunny window that you like to spend time in. A lot of people will not have a desk like I had one in the basement, but maybe a dining room table. And you can say to the family, look, I got to keep working. This is my home office now. The new normal is, we're going to eat at the kitchen island and the dining room table is now my office. Like, just to say that to your family,
right?
That is really important.
Right. This whole psychology of getting everyone on board for this new normal too is a challenge. What other basic, let's say, office supplies are so you need a desk for sure. You probably have your phone already. Everyone's using cell phones. What are some of the other office essentials that people should have just to kind of set up that workstation that they need?
Right. Well, a desk and a chair. A chair is really important. And if you don't have a comfortable office chair that you bought for a home office, look around your home, see what else you have. With my daughter, we actually had 3 or 4 options to choose from. I said you could have a dining room chair, which those are comfortable. We sit in those all the time. I had a folding chair downstairs. That's what she ended up wanting. I had a stool that was going to be a little too high for the desk, so that wasn't going to end up being a good option. I had a footstool, which is a little bit higher than normal, and it's actually pretty comfortable to sit on, but she wanted the one with the back. So, look around, get a chair. And then you're talking about the office consumables beyond that, right? Well, then you're
Right.
talking about technology, but hopefully your office sent you home with some technology. And if they did, you need to get on and test it, figure out what, how it works. If you're cool with how it works, great. Then you're on to other things. But yeah, figure out, do you have the bandwidth that you need? Do you know how to get onto your company network if that's still running? Do you, I'm using all of my computers. I'm using my Wi-Fi. I'm using my iPad. I mean, these are all things that I all have at my desk all at the same time.
Right.
And then you're talking about office consumables. So right now we're getting home shipments, but who knows, right? And really, this is not just for today, but this is for any time in our life. We want to have the idea that we have what we need. We don't have too much. We don't have too little, right? So
Right.
I'm looking at, what do I need to make sure I have maybe a month or 2 months supply on hand for? My big consumables I figured out in my office right now are printer ink
Hmm.
and probably paper.
Right.
And so I'm going to place an order for printer ink in the next day or so, because right now Amazon is shipping, but who knows, right? I can't get it. I'm really big on shopping local, but I can't get anything local anymore because my stores are shut down where I am
Right.
by the order of the governor. All stores are shut.
Wow.
So take a look at what your consumables are. If you're like me, it's probably printer ink. There's no substitute for that, right?
Right.
And then paper. I actually said to my kids this morning, look, we're not going to throw out any paper that we haven't written on the backside. I'm gonna create a used paper bin, and they can use that for drawing, or writing stories that they're going to have to write for school or whatever.
Right. Well, this is great. We're gonna take a quick break here. When we come back, we're finally getting to the stuff we love to talk about. Things like, once you have that paper, where do you file it? And we have digital files, we have paper files, and let's talk about that when we come back. So we're with Darla DeMoro, talking about some of the stuff you'll find in her new book, The Upbeat Organized Home Office. We're trying to stay upbeat about this, and we'll be right back. The Organized Home Office from MyOrganized.life. When you work from home, your workspace doesn't have to be bland and boring. Brighten up your home office with organizing solutions from MyOrganized.life. It's just for you. MyOrganized.life. MyOrganized.life. We're back now on Keeping You Organized, talking about the organized, upbeat home office and how you stay upbeat, I think, when you're forced to work at home, like a lot of people are, or, maybe you've been doing it for a long time. There are some techniques that you can do. And before the break, we talked about the basic setup, and then we're getting into our favorite topic here, consumables, paper. But we do have paper files and digital files. So, Darla, let's talk about how we organize, just the paper and the files.
Yeah, so I was actually talking with a couple of clients in my Facebook group community last night, and people are spending time at home, so they want to make their home the home that they've always wanted. Maybe they've felt like they've never had time. Guess what? We all have a lot of time in our homes right now. So
Now we have the excuse, or we can't say I don't have time to file, because we at least have a little bit more time, right?
yes, yes, exactly. So if you're trying to set up your home office, or you're all of a sudden, maybe you're trying to set up a family office. So one of the things that you can do is go through your old files. Like I just mentioned, if I were to do that today, I wouldn't actually throw away the paper, because God knows right now I'm gonna I think my next article is going to be like organizing in the age of coronavirus. Like,
Yeah.
we need to think ahead. Like I'm trying to think 10 steps ahead. I feel like I always think 2 or 3 steps ahead, but right now I'm trying to think 10 steps ahead. And that means there's a lot of possibilities. Well, one possibility is maybe I can't get paper in the future like I want to, but we're still going to use it. Maybe I don't want to get to the point where like, we might end up burning it for fuel, but God knows, right? So I'm not going to toss it, but I'm going to organize it into a box of used paper. So if I were cleaning out my files today, I'm still going to tell you, and I'm still going to tell clients, you could probably still get rid of those old checks from 1974. And I kid you not, John, I had one of those clients last week. We were throwing out checks from 1974. You could get that stuff out of your file cabinet that's underneath your desk or near your desk, because you might actually need to get the stuff that's on your desk into the file cabinet. Okay, so the
Right.
old papers need to come out, the new papers need to get organized, and you probably already have file folders at home, and you can easily use what you have either by turning. I like to turn manila file folders inside out, turn them
Mm-hmm.
around, and the back side, if I haven't written on them, then I can write a new tab header, or you can use whiteout if you have it, or stickers to put over the top of it. A lot of people have those.
Or Darla, if you have the Smeed erasable tab folders, you could just erase the tab, and and with a permanent marker, you can put a new label on there, and you can use it, reuse and reuse, and that's one of the nice features of that particular product.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, John, you guys are still shipping? You're selling through
Yeah.
Amazon, I know, right?
We sell through Amazon. We also through myorganized.life, or your local well, in your case, maybe your local office supply place is closed, but when this is airing, this might air after all this is done, but there are lots of different ways to get access to the products. Well, you can go to myorganized.life and easily find anything you need.
And I have to put a plug in for that. I had forgotten for a while about my organized.life, and I recently have placed a couple of orders. And not only did I get product as fast as I would have gotten it, from Amazon or whatever,
Right.
I actually got some really pretty things that I would not have seen on Amazon. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just an easy way for people to order and get supplies if they need hanging folders or manila folders. You have a lot of pretty things. You have a
Yeah.
lot of attractive, nice colors, purple, blue,
Yeah.
pink, a lot of colors that you can't get other places. And people
Yeah.
should go to myorganized.life just to order directly from you.
Yeah. Now we're starting to sound like a commercial, but I do want to point out, we also didn't you recently get one of the new soft touch expanding files too?
I did. I don't have it within arm's reach. It's
Yeah.
over there,
Yeah.
but I love it. It looks like felt. I haven't actually touched it yet,
Yeah.
but it's beautiful. So yeah, people don't have to. That's the upbeat part, right? If
Right.
you're setting up your office, it doesn't have to be army green and ugly. You can
Right.
see behind me. I've taken care over the years to make my office pretty and white, and I've got yellow walls, and I've got a big ugly black printer behind me. I haven't switched that out yet, but little by little, right? You make these little changes, and you're going to make your home office right now and in the future attractive. Just, it doesn't have to be all at once, it doesn't have to be all Pinteresty, it doesn't have to be expensive.
Right.
Just as you're replacing things, just do it intentionally, and
Right.
and make it a spot that you're going to want to you're going to want to spend some time in, because right now, in the middle of this coronavirus, but even after, because like you said, there will be an after, right?
Sure.
There will be an after. So if you're investing in your office right now, invest so that you want to spend time there. That's my whole point.
Right. Also, we should just talk before we wrap up, just about now we got everything looking great, but we still got to do the work. How do you got any some quick productivity and tips for just now? How do we get things done once we've got our environment set?
I'll give you a freebie that I actually gave to my kids' teacher today. And then I'll tell you some of my apps that I love to use. But if you are working from home, distractions are going to be all over the place, right? And if your kids
Mhm.
are home and you're not used to that, well, that's going to be another layer of distraction. So I actually just taught my kids this morning and shared it with their teacher how to use an online timer. Now, I have several different timers in my home, but this has got to be the easiest. So if you go to a browser, any browser as far as I know, but I know for a fact it works on Google. If you just type in where you would normally type in, heartworkorg.com or whatever, instead of typing in a website name, if you type in 10-minute timer or 20-minute timer or 30-minute timer. It works for any number. And you can use numbers or you can write out, TEN. But if you just type that in and hit enter, it'll start a timer on that tab. And then it'll go dee, 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 dee when it's all done, and you can restart it if you want. But that's a great way to keep yourself on task. Say, look, I'm going to do emails for 10 minutes and then I'm going to go make lunch for the family. Or, with my kids, my daughter said, Mom, I really want to watch funny cat videos while we're home. And I said, great, 10 minutes of funny cat videos a day. That's it, So
Yeah.
I might relax that a little. But right now, I want her to do the work, or when I'm working in my office, there'll be times when I'm like, I don't want to do something, and I'll say, you know what, I'll just do it for 10 minutes, and that's a way to keep on track.
We could also do, hey Siri, set me a 5-minute timer.
Yeah, I don't actually have Siri in my house, but you could totally do that. You could do Siri, you could do Alexa. I have some clients who talk to their they talk to their house. I mean, we're in that's what we do these days, right? We're in that it's like the Jetsons. I was telling my kids the other night, we're living in the Jetsons age.
The Jetsons are real now. Isn't it incredible? Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, you wonder when they were creating that show, I don't know how long ago. That was a long time ago. But, what they imagined and what's happened. I keep thinking about the conveyor belt, and how you go to the airports and there it is right there, the people mover, and
everything is on that show we have now, except for flying cars. We were talking about it with our kids the other night, and we have everything on that show except for flying cars, and that's just around the corner.
We're close. Yeah. Okay, well, Darla, before we go, why don't you let people know, now that you're holed up in your home office, are there any services that you can offer that people can contact you, or maybe you throw a plug in there for your book too?
John, you're so good to me. Thank you. Okay, so this is the book, The Upbeat Organized Home Office. You don't have to buy the print copy, but we do now have the print copy available. If you want an autographed version, you just go to my website and there's a button for books and click the autographed version. But I am really pushing people to remember that every device they have is a Kindle. Okay, you can put the Kindle app on your phone, on your iPad, on your computer, on your Mac, on your PC. Every device you have, you can turn into a Kindle. And this is available. I joke, it's virus free on Kindle for, I don't know, it's like $3. And if you're really hard up and you need a copy, get in touch with me. Okay. Yeah. So that's definitely one thing. And I'm out there. I am talking to my community in my Facebook group. I have a closed private Facebook group, and we are still organizing. We're helping people, stock their pantry and figure out what supplies they might need if they're going to be in lockdown for a bit, or, like we said, there's going to be an after. So I'm just being of service to all of my people. And we are actually still doing virtual organizing, which is, if you can watch this video or listen to this podcast, you have enough technical skills to do virtual organizing. And it's surprising to my clients how much they get done. We've done virtual organizing for years, John, years. This is not new for us. So I have a track record of helping people get organized no matter where you are in the world. And we are still doing that.
Right. Well, I have a copy of my virus-free autographed book here, and I'm super excited about this. I just have to fight over it with my wife and kids because everybody wants to have this. So, well, Darla, thanks again for sharing with us. I'm sure we'll have you back again real soon.
Thanks so much, John. I love this podcast. I listen to, all of them that you put out, and I will be definitely listening to the other topics during this time.
Absolutely. All right. Well, there you go, folks. Now you can feel upbeat in your organized home office, get things done, and then come back next time for keeping you organized.